Yeah. So episode 10 airs a week later. It's January 21st, 2004 now. We're finally starting to release successful movies in the year. The number one movie in America is Along Came Polly,
Oh,
uh, which I go back to occasionally because there's a great pratfall by Philip Seymour Hoffman that I like to revisit.
you know what we should be doing more? Chris Pratt Falls.
Sure.
Why aren't we doing that?
I feel like that happens a lot if you watch Parks and Recreation.
Oh, is he doing a lot of those?
Yeah, yeah.
That's very funny.
Um, all right, on debuting at number 4, speaking of Parks and Recreation, featuring the star of Parks and Recreation, Adam Scott, Torque.
Is he the star of Parks and Recreation?
I believe he's the male lead after starting with like season 3.
Okay.
Yeah. Once
I
they get
didn't
rid
know
of
that.
Paul Schneider.
I feel like I didn't know that. I feel like I thought that the guy with the mustache was the lead.
He's their boss. You can't really make him the male lead because he's such a character. He's like, Dwight or something. You
Right.
need a Jim.
Right. You need Adam Scott.
Yeah.
Should I watch the first episode of Severance? That wasn't on my list.
Oh, fuck yeah. Have you never watched Severance?
No,
That's my favorite show on TV.
I know, but my thing was like, I feel like that's a lot to get into. And once I get
Why?
into it, I got to get into it.
There's like
I'm watching too much other
18
stuff,
episodes total.
but you really got to focus on that.
Yeah, I know.
I will.
All right. Um, let's talk about Soul Purpose. So this episode's written by Brent Fletcher. This is actually his only episode of Angel. I don't really know why. I think he might have written a couple of Buffy Angel comic books, but he's mostly a TV writer. He had a pretty good career. He's still working today. I think his most recent thing was that like Superman and Lois show he was working on. But back in the day, he had a nice run. He after Angel, he wrote for Lost, and then he wrote for Friday Night Lights for a while. Um, but more importantly, this episode is directed by David Boreanaz. His directorial debut.
Wow.
Yeah, he's done quite a bit of television since this. Mostly episodes of Bones and SEAL Team.
Does he do any more of this?
This is it.
Oh,
Yeah, but I love this episode, and I think
love it.
it's very him.
Okay.
He's got a style.
Yeah, it was interesting to say the least. He directed. So I honestly I think I might watch this again now that I know that. Like he's behind the camera during the Lindsay and Eve sex scene and all that.
Yeah,
That's so good. Like at every turn, I would be like, "What did David say?" Like just
but
in
there's a
every
lot of
moment. Like
weird moments in this episode, like when Fred hands that his soul to a bear for a
right
second, like just like a guy dressed up as a bear.
here,
Like,
bear.
yeah, here, bear. There's like weird touches, and it ends with that crazy shot of like him in the foreground
Oh
and then them in the
my
background, but it's
god,
like split diopter or whatever.
Angel!
Yeah.
Oh my god! All right, all right, all right. We need to calm down. Yeah,
Lot going on. The
yep.
dream sequences are very
I
crazy.
wish I saw that it was him because at certain points in this, I was like, "Oh, that was good. That was fun. Oh, interesting. All right." And then to learn it's him.
Yeah. Well, I told you.
Does Marsh? I know, but that was remember that was so long ago at this point. I honestly
Yeah, it's
forgot.
true. You're right.
Did
That's my
does
fault.
Marsters direct?
I don't think he's ever directed. No.
Never directed. All right.
Mm-mm.
Does any other
You
cast
see
members?
that a lot now. I feel like Grey's Anatomy this season. I just watched the new season. There were 18 episodes. I want to say 13 or 14 of them were directed by actors from the show.
Wow. Doesn't The Office start to do that?
They all do. Yeah, yeah. But I mean, I think Grey's Anatomy's just been on for so long that it's like part of their deal now. Like, well, then you have to let us direct.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I kind of love that.
All right. Um, let's let's talk about Soul Purpose.
That would be a fun thing to do, like ranking the if you were a Grey's Anatomy fan, like ranking all the episodes like directed by the actors.
Oh yeah.
That'd be
There
fun.
there are certain actors that are really bad at it, by the way.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
that's
I've
what
come
makes it be
across
fun.
that on not great so much. They're all like competent, I guess. but like I have come across that on TV where because like you sit up and you take extra notice when you see their names and they go, oh, David Boreanaz, let's see what this one's like. And, oh, it's really good, interesting. But I have come across a few where it's like, oh, that person shouldn't have been doing it.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Honestly,
Yeah.
I want to watch a show like that.
Well, if you watch enough TV, you'll come across it.
I know. Got to stop watching pilots and actually watch a show.
Yeah. No, there's no pilots directed by actors. They have to get real people for that.
I think it's gonna help me though in the list that we're gonna make though, because I'm really gonna be able to decide what shows do I want to go back to just based on the pilot. Because I
Yeah.
don't know the shows further than that.
I also Handmaid's Tale. I just watched the new season of that, and I think at least half of the episodes were directed by Elizabeth Moss.
Really, she's a director.
Yeah, there.
Now she is.
I guess that's how you get her to stay on a show for 6 years.
Yeah,
You know, give her that opportunity.
I think that's
And
pretty cool.
I have certain problems with her directing style. She loves shooting extreme close-ups of herself looking directly at the camera.
Angel did that in this episode.
Yes, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, that was so cool. That when that happened, I was like, "Whoa, coolest shot of Angel ever!" Uh, and now it cements it.
That it's David Boreanaz.
Yeah, he brought out
Yeah.
the split diopter lenses. I was like, wait a second, guys. Look what I can
Yeah.
do.
He's there, he does a commentary track on this episode on the DVD, and I remember him saying like there's a lot of stuff like that the cinematographer wouldn't normally let like first time Angel directors try or get away with, but since he's him, he like
He is
pretty
him.
much got full reign.
David Boreanaz is him. Let me be the first one to say it.
No, you know who him is.
Who?
Trey Halliburton.
Tyrese Halliburton.
Tyrese Halliburton.
You're right, though. He is him.
Mm-hmm.
You said for the new movie coming out, him? Isn't that what it's called?
I
About
feel
that
like I
football
saw a
player?
trailer. Oh, it looked terrible. Yeah, yeah.
No
I'm not
way. Are you
excited.
kidding me?
Really? You think that
I
looks
think it
good?
looks like the movie of the year.
I don't know.
It looks like Black Swan,
But with football,
but with football,
all
right?
right.
I mean, that's what I'm getting from
Black Dong.
it. All right. Oh man.
All right. Go ahead. Talk about the
Oh, we're on the
episode.
episode.
Yeah.
All right. So, shout out to David. Great job. We open on the end of that other episode, Spike versus Angel,
Right, but
fighting for the cup.
it's Angel dreaming about it. And you can
Nightmare
tell
scenario.
because like Spike is not beat up at all, and Angel is.
Oh, I only noticed when he woke up from the dream.
Oh,
I didn't notice, but during it at all.
I'm glad you noticed that though. Good, great job.
I did catch that. I noticed all the parts when Angel was like having visions and dreams and shit. We're at a strip club. Spike at a strip club. Very awesome.
The peppermint stick or something.
Could we go back to the bronze? Could any Angel character? Are we too far away from the bronze?
No, the bronze was swallowed up by the
Oh.
Hellmouth.
Shit. Yeah, my bad. So this guy shows up, brings Spike a drink, and says, "Have you gotten anything interesting in the mail lately?" And we're like, "Oh shit, I have gotten interesting things in the mail lately. I got resurrected by the mail, and then I got my powers back by the mail. That's so
Recorporealized.
yeah." Fred had to say that line or something like that at one point, and she just blew right through it. And I was like,
Yeah, I
"Damn,
know.
Fred, you practiced that so hard. Like you did such a good job." I'm so impressed by Fred. Fred's so good. There's a reason they brought her into the cabin in the woods because she can just like.
Oh, Amy Acker is fantastic. She's also really good in Much Ado About Nothing, the Joss Whedon adaptation of that. And she's shown up other places too. She shows up in Dollhouse. She's in
She's such a pro. It seems
this
like.
TV show, Person of Interest.
Mm,
She's had a nice little TV acting career.
very impressed by her.
Mhm.
And when she said "Here, bear," I thought she did it. With
I
touch.
love. She said that was her favorite scene of the season.
the
The-
season. Whoa.
Yeah,
Her with the bear.
with
And
the,
she
the,
took
the whole
she took out like the fish tank. Here's your soul, Angel. It's a fish tank.
right. She also pulls out a license plate and says, "I guess you've come up the Gulf Stream," which
Yep.
is a reference to Jaws. They
Oh,
pull out
really?
yeah, Hooper pulls out a license plate out of a shark and says the exact same thing.
Oh, wow. I remember the
Mhm.
scene. I don't remember the line. They do that. There's a part in Deep Blue Sea where one has a thing in its mouth. That might be a Jaws reference. But we get who the hell are you? Your new best friend. And then we go to the credits. Very cool. And then Lindsay tells us his name is Doyle. We already had a
Yeah.
Doyle on this show. Is this a shout out or what is going on here?
Yeah. Well, I mean, this whole episode is sort of, I mean, any the Spike parts anyway are like Spike doing the pilot episode
He's
of
Angel.
Angel.
Right.
Yeah.
So which made me think, is Doyle just the name they give to this? Is Lindsay now in the Doyle role? Is he Doyle? Like how James Bond is just named James Bond, but he's not actually a guy?
No, Lindsay is bullshitting Spike.
How did he know Doyle was a real guy?
Lindsay met Doyle. Lindsay had scenes with Doyle.
Lindsay knew Doyle? Lindsay was
Yeah.
around when Doyle was around?
Lindsay's in the pilot episode of Angel.
Whoa, I don't remember that. I
Yeah.
did not know that. Okay. Why did he say Doyle, though? He could have said any name.
That's what he's going with. It's
What happened? So does he know Doyle's dead?
yeah.
Okay. Uh, I all right. Okay. I don't remember that. My mind was doing flips in that moment. But yeah, he says my name's Doyle, and we're dealing with like a Lucian Drake. He's a warlock named Lucian Drake. We don't really see him, I don't think, do we?
No, that's just a subplot in the
Yeah,
background.
a little bit the same as last episode. We're like dealing with stuff in the
Well,
background.
it's kind of to get everybody distracted so that they don't notice that Angel is going through what he's going through.
I feel like they all start to notice. Right?
Well, eventually, because he's not showing up for work. There, it's like already the app. They told him like sleep in tomorrow, so like they're not expecting him like early in the morning like usual.
Mm-hmm.
But then all of a sudden it's like the afternoon. It's like where the fuck is Angel? He hasn't even checked in.
Right. And Wesley calls him irrelevant and then tried to kill him. That was fake. That was a vision too. I thought that was real for a second. No, kind of not, because Wesley was like followed him up there with like a weird look on his face. I was like, why does he look evil? Anyway, Spike says, Lindsay tells him like, hey, we can save people in need. So that's what we do. We save this woman in an alley. Do you want to say the line that Spike said to her?
I don't remember.
What kind of retard wears heels like that in a dark alley?
Right.
Oh, freaking Spike.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is where Wesley like tries to kill Angel, but it's fake. Uh, and then Spike saves this couple, and they say, "Who are you?" I'm the hero, and he walks off. And you're like, "Hell
Yeah.
yeah, Spike hero moment." I feel like he had like the part like in the Angel opening scene where he like the trench coat down the alley. I feel like it was kind of like that in that
Yeah,
part.
and then he also later gets the moment where like he's got the two stakes in his wrists that come out, and
Yeah,
yeah.
man, they're playing the hits. It's so cool. Spike's the best, and they know like it's like they read my mind and they put my two guys together, Lindsay and Spike. Like these have been my two guys sort of on
Yeah,
most of
it's
these
true.
shows, and now they're together. And it's directed by Angel. Man, I'm gonna watch this again today. I just know it. So this is where Fred's like doing all the research on Angel. She pulls out the Gulfstream license plate and all that.
Yeah.
Uh, we learn based on the platinum blonde hair in the description that it's been Spike going around like saving these. He's like a vigilante, they call him. So that's fun. And Lindsay shows Spike to his new place. I love Spike. Like, do we have cable? Because that we learned that was his big thing on Buffy when he had his
Right.
crypt. He always had cable.
Passions.
I had to watch Passions. I gotta watch that, the pilot episode of Passions. Is that good?
I mean, it's a soap opera. It's all right.
Oh, okay. I know. What do you call count as pilots? If it's only one season, does it count as a pilot?
And the first episode of any show is a pilot.
Or you said
Even
mini
if they never
series? You said a mini series doesn't count.
miniseries doesn't count
Well, how do you know what that is?
because usually a miniseries is greenlit as a miniseries.
But if
The
it's a thing
way
from the past, and I don't really necessarily know that, how do I know?
ask me
Okay, okay.
like what's
I
Roots
don't
is a
know. I
miniseries.
don't know if I have examples.
Chernobyl is a miniseries.
I don't know if I really have examples.
But the way TV works is that they make a pilot first, and then they show the network the pilot, and then they decide whether they want to greenlight it as a series.
Sometimes there's the pilot episode 0. I feel like there was one show where it was like episode 0 pilot, and I got a little confused, but I think I watched it anyway.
That's sometimes when it's a pilot presentation that they do like on spec before they're even greenlit as to do a pilot.
Okay. Okay. And then there's Good Morning Miss Bliss, which is a pilot for a different show,
Saved by the Bell has
basically.
two pilots where
Okay.
they have the Good Morning Miss Bliss pilot, and then they tried like, let's see what it's like with just them. We're changed the title Saved by the Bell. So season 2 of Saved by the Bell is really season 1. It's complicated.
I didn't like Good Morning Miss Bliss. I did not find it funny, really.
I watched the fuck out of it as a kid.
Yeah. There was one girl though I thought that it impressed me that they don't bring over to Saved
The
by the
brunette
Bell.
girl, right?
Yeah, I was
She's
like, she's
cool, right?
good. Why
I
why not
know.
her? They bring
That
Lisa
always bummed
over.
me out
I like
too.
Lisa, but
We need one black character.
of course. But I mean, I feel like some shows don't. I watched like some shows and they didn't.
Yeah. Well, weird time.
What's the show about the I guess we'll do another podcast about all this. But Angel goes out in his bare feet, doesn't put on any shoes. Fred's like, Angel, you're not wearing any shoes. What are you doing? We all watch the apocalypse and eat popcorn. That's fun.
Oh
And
yeah.
then
Is this when Angel is the mail boy too?
I think that's like when Spike wants to be a real boy
Oh, okay,
and
okay.
he gets that wish. Uh, I wrote space bug fish. That's the thing on Angel that like starts doing.
I think it looks cool.
It does look
Um,
cool.
yeah, they made like a cheap version of it and an expensive version of it that apparently they spent $85,000 of the budget on.
Whoa.
And Boreanaz said the cheap version looked so much better. This is on the commentary track, and he says he wouldn't have used the $85,000 one at all, except that they spent $85,000
Is
on
that
it, and he
what's in the
felt bad.
box? The
No,
bigger
I
one?
I think it's when he squeezes it. The first one, when he squeezes it to kill it, that might be the expensive one.
Oh, so cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's one of my favorite facts you've ever said. Uh,
Mm.
Shout out to David for really going through all that. We want to get this right. We're gonna make it so cool. All right. Yeah, I liked all that. And then we get, is that when they like start to have sex? I think that's a little later on. Oh,
That's later on.
this is Spike wants to be a real boy. And then
Right.
Wesley and Gunn go to Spike and they're like, Spike, come back. And Spike's like, Angel doesn't even know you guys are here, does he? They like
Hedging your bets, huh?
went without his permission. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. How do they? Oh, I guess they heard the platinum blonde thing is how they're onto him there. So then we get to the Eve and Lindsay part, and she's also into his tattoos. Ooh, like all these markings. I love all these tattoos.
She finds him very sexy.
And he's like, they're for business, not for pleasure. And she's like, hey, can't help me for liking them or whatever. And then I had a great joke. I wrote, Eve rubs her box and says, this is going to be fun. She
Yeah,
does. That's
I
what she
know.
does.
I know.
So she goes to Angel and she opens her box for Angel, and the big space bug comes out of it, and it's like the
Yeah.
giant one, and
Mm.
it really fucks him up. There's like a
Well, it
part
does. He's able to swat it away before it gets
it
really a
doesn't.
hold of him.
Oh shit,
Yeah.
I guess so. But
Oh wait,
there's a
actually,
part.
no. Because then there's like a little break, like where gets to leave and
Because he doesn't even
Spike
know
saves.
it's her. Because he like
Yeah.
later on's like, and he like puts it together, like you did it.
Yeah. Later on, he like pulls it off of him and like throws it against a wall or whatever.
Yeah.
And Spike kills it, and he says, "What are you doing?"
Oh
And he
yeah,
goes,
Spike's
"I'm
there.
I'm helping the helpless."
Oh, so cool, Spike. He
Yeah.
showed up to save it, and Angel didn't even know how he knew. He's like, how did he know how to do that? But we missed the part where Angel is Lauren is on the piano and Harmony
Honky
comes up.
tonk.
Yeah, exactly. And he has a
Mhm.
mustache, and Harmony shows up in her boob dress that's only covers her boobs.
Yep, I did notice that.
And then, and there's the part where Angel he's in the rocking chair. Oh, I think that's later on. That's a little
It's
later
not a
on.
rocking chair. It's like a Barca lounger.
Oh, right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
And but back to this part, he tries to sing. Lauren's like, "Sing for me," but he can't sing. He like lets out a
Ah,
little. Yeah, it reminded me
yeah.
of. You remember in E.T.? Well, you don't like E.T. So, but there's the part in E.T. when Elliot's in the backyard and he's like, Michael, Michael, Michael. But he can't, like, he's so scared he can't even say Michael. He can't even, like, scream for his brother. I love that part.
It's not that I don't like ET. That's
What?
overstating
Oh,
it.
okay. I thought Henry doesn't like
Yeah,
E.T.
Henry's harder about ET.
Yeah. Is that like a top 10 Spielberg movie?
No,
No. All right.
no.
One day we'll do top 25 Spielberg movies. That'll be
I mean,
good. I
I
still have a few to
have that
watch.
list.
I think only War Horse and Amistad are the only two that I haven't seen yet.
Warhorse. I have like three, I think. Warhorse, West Side Story, and another kind of recent one, I think.
Like you've seen the recent ones.
The
BFG's the one you
really,
probably would have skipped.
oh yeah, maybe now I've seen that one. So it might just be those two.
Yeah. So
I
uh
have ET at number 18 on my Spielberg
that
ranking.
is low. He's only made like what 32 or so? Somewhere around there.
32 exactly is how much many I have on the list.
Yeah. I don't like that. But so this is where Angel like he wakes up and he's like you were there and you were there and you were there. I thought of Fred. I didn't like Fred sitting on the arm of the chair. I thought that was weird.
I didn't notice.
Oh, like when Angel's in the field, Fred comes up and sits on the arm of the chair. I thought that was a little weird.
Oh yeah. Fred looks nice though. Good,
Oh, she
great
looked
hair.
incredible. And her
Okay.
dress like blowing in the wind. They get a great
Yeah.
like a real shot of her. It goes like like starts down and like goes really up her whole body.
It
It's really
reminded
weird.
me of Tara in Restless when she's like speaking for the first Slayer.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Tara, what a legend. Uh, so Angel said, I loved this part when after Angel's like, you were there and you were there and you were there. And Eve says, I can't be responsible for how you dress me in your fantasies. I
Yeah.
loved that line from Eve.
But Fred kind of has his back. She's like, you did change, and I've never seen those fucking earrings before. And ladies notice that sort of shit.
You can get new earrings.
But she says like she's worn them before. Like that's
Oh,
why
right,
like
right.
Angel would be remembering them in his dream.
Yeah. Shout out to Fred, honestly. I was thinking, I think we said Eve was like the Lila. Well, I guess she is because now she's bad. But I think before she was bad, I was like, is she like the Cordelia replacement? But who? But she's bad now, so
Can't
maybe
replace Cordelia.
you can't replace Cordelia. It sucks for Connor because I feel like he might still be on the show if Cordelia didn't get pregnant. You think? Did they write him out because of Cordelia? That sucks
No,
for
I,
him a
I I
little.
think they write him out because they'd reached the end of that storyline.
I could use more.
Well, you will.
Yeah, he'll be back.
He's gonna come back.
It's not as regular. And
Mm-hmm.
it ends. We're like blaming Eve for everything, and she says, "Maybe you should try looking inward, unless you don't like what you see." I don't like when people say inward because it makes me think of the inward. Makes me think they're saying inward. I'm like, whoa, and then I'm like, oh, you said inward. Okay, holy
You know
shit.
what shot you skipped that's like amazing?
What?
There's like this crazy shot where Fred puts her ear to Angel. It's during the autopsy scene. She puts her ear to like the hole in Angel's chest. She says you could hear the ocean. And then
I thought Glenn said that.
the camera pans through Angel's chest cavity
Yeah.
and then like comes out his eye in the real
Yes.
world. And you can like
Yes.
see Fred like getting smaller as like the
She's like
camera
in the
pans
sunken
through the
place,
yeah,
basically.
it's so interesting.
Yeah. Great job pointing that out. Yeah. Yeah. That was very cool. It did
Hmm.
remind me of the sunken place from Get Out. She was like in the boxes, he was getting smaller and smaller.
Well, Jordan Peele ripped off David Boreanaz, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, you're right about that. And so did Brian De Palma. He was like, I'm going to bring out the split diopter lenses for all my movies going forward.
Yeah,
Even though he has like two
going
movies going
forward.
forward.
Yeah.
Where's he at? Where's Brian De Palma?
He has trouble getting funding these
What are we
days.
doing?
Like,
Come, these
it,
people are alive. Let them make
I
movies. Are
know.
you
If
stupid?
you listen, read the Wikipedia page of his. I think his last movie was called Domino,
Yeah.
or that might be 2 movies ago. But if you read the Wikipedia page, it's so fucking infuriating. Like what he had to go through to even get that movie made, and he didn't even have final cut on it.
Isn't that's Tony Scott? Domino?
That's a different movie.
Two
Tony Scott
Domino?
has a Domino with Keira Knightley, and De Palma made a film called Domino with Nikolai Coster-Waldau.
I didn't know you could just make another movie called Domino.
Sure, why not?
Can you just do Star Wars? Got a new movie coming out, Star Wars.
That'd probably be more difficult.
And people would
That's
probably protest it.
yeah.
People aren't gonna go see Star Wars.
Domino's got like one word.
And they
It's
probably
just
not even aware of the other one.
you can't really put a trademark on the word domino.
It's true. That's actually a good point. That's different. And then it ends on the split diopter shot. Angel looking in the camera, everyone else behind him. The coolest shit ever. That's honestly, I believe that's my favorite thing. The thing you can do in a movie is
Split diopter.
bring out the split diopter. There's nothing cooler to me.
Okay.
Doesn't matter what's going on in it. Because this one, they're just like
You
looking
do
into the,
pop every time,
and this nothing was happening. They're just literally it's Angel looking into the camera, everyone else looking into the
but it's
camera.
intense. It's
They're
like
like
it's
look
an
mad.
intense moment. Yeah, because
Yeah,
Eve like just like shut the door on them and like gave them a bit of a warning, and
yeah,
yeah, you get to
so
see
cool.
everybody's reaction. All right.
So MVP is Angel, especially knowing he directed it too.
Oh yeah,
David LVP, what do you got?
DB.
I'm liking Eve, by the way.
She's all right.
I'm liking her. Like I'm not gonna give her the LVP. Not even gonna think about it.
No, my LVP is the first, the one Spike calls a retard. I think
Oh yeah, she
she kind of bugged me.
she might be Lana. Oh yeah, I like the blue fairy who showed up and granted Angel Spike's wish. She was good.
Yeah.
Although I noticed someone in the last cast I kind of wanted to mention for no reason. There's honestly no point. I'm gonna not do that. Um, all right, what else? Is that it? Do we read comments? Oh, we guess we got to rank them. I put this up right above the last one, but now that we know Angel did it, and now that I'm thinking about like everything that went into it, I'm gonna jump it up like 50 spots. I'm now gonna put it between sacrifice and belonging, 45.
I like this more than both of those episodes.
Okay.
Um, what do I have around like 30?
Long Day's Journey. Guys Will Be Guys is above it. Can't be better than that. And then Quickening below it.
What's above Guys Will Be Guys?
Calvary.
All right, I feel pretty good about this.
Oh,
Put it between Guys Will Be Guys and Long Day's Journey.
so it's your new 30.
Yeah.
I love it. Who was I guess we did the MVP LVP. We have comments here from Laura. She says, "The Lost Weekend episode was great. As you know, I always love a Tim appearance, and I'm really looking forward to the new format. Nonetheless, I'm so relieved to have you back, Daniel. I'm very glad you're on the mend."
Thank you. I am on the mend. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Laura. And then she writes star, 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 star. I know you're going to say something about Whedon's involvement with McNabb, but we did, I believe, say about that. Sorry. But this was a lovely episode. Giving supporting characters their own small episodes seems a particular talent of Whedon's.
Yeah. Agreed.
Sorry. Angel had no business being so rude to Harmony. She's way ahead of the Stanley Cup trend. Oh, the Stanleys? Like they have
No,
like
what is that?
they're these new like big I don't know what you'd call them. They're like
Oh, you
tin
mean
cans, like tin cups,
tumblers?
tumblers. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're called
yeah.
Stanleys, and
I
people
didn't
go
know that's
crazy
what they were
over them.
called. Stanley Cup to
You can't
me
say Stanley
is that
Cup
that's
like
what
that.
you win at the end of a hockey season.
Yeah.
Something I will never see the Rangers do ever again.
Oh, that's not true.
Um, but the yeah, they're called tumblers. We sold a ton of them at the job I just got fired from, and yeah, they really are very popular. We were selling them for $45 a piece, and people were buying them for that.
What the fuck?
I
That
know.
that that just shows what marketing can do.
Yeah. But yeah,
That's
you're right. I
unbelievable.
actually did notice that during the episode. Like she straight up got one of those.
And she like puts her name on it, and she's like, "This is mine." Puts it in the fridge, takes it to Angel.
Yeah.
I feel like she had like a few lined up, or that
Well,
might be
she
other
that's
people's.
hers. She's drinking from the tumbler, and she has a like a number one boss mug that she has
Oh,
for Angel.
right. But I feel like didn't like the guy Dan the man came to the fridge. Did he have one? Because she was like, "Hey, you're getting in my,"
No,
but he was
she
like,
was
"This is mine."
moving hers. He was moving hers to like
Oh,
get at something in the back of the fridge.
oh, so she did catch him with her thing.
Right.
Okay. Um, I can see what you meant by Boreanaz's talent for directing, Daniel. I particularly loved
Mm-hmm.
that they recreated that shot from the fight in the very first episode. The the
Well,
the at the
she
beginning.
he says, you know the one I mean, where Angel stakes
Oh,
two vampires at the same time.
oh, I guess if I just
Sometimes you have
keep
to keep
reading.
reading.
I have
Yeah.
a problem. I like to react to things as they come to me, and that's a problem sometimes. I feel like Lindsay's return won't be what I pictured. I thought he'd be an ally, helping them navigate intrigues at Wolfram and Hart, and then, and he has no respect for the dead, assuming Doyle's identity without batting an eye.
Mhm.
It, I wonder about that. And what do we think his family thought, Doyle?
His
Because
family?
did they think of it as like a sign of respect, or were they like, I thought,
Oh, you mean the actor Glenn Quinn?
right, right, sorry.
Yes. David Boreanaz remained tight with Glenn Quinn up until he died. So I think specifically introducing this in an episode he directed was probably meant as a sign of respect. I
It
mean,
made me,
we're in the final season of Angel now. Not that they knew that at the time, and it does make a sort of sense to go back to a character who, when the show started, at least seemed like he was going to be one of the most important characters in the series.
right. That also adds an extra layer that Boreanaz directed it. It's the one where we mentioned Doyle. I didn't even think
Mm.
about that whole thing either. But I thought maybe it could be like the Peg thing where he made Sulu gay, and then George Takai like takes offense to it somehow. Like
No,
he like
I don't
finds
think
a way to
anyone
get
took
mad.
offense to it. Everyone appreciated the
Okay,
shout out.
good. She
George
says,
Takei is just an asshole.
yeah, he just is annoyed about things. He
Mhm.
looks like they tried to recreate Tommy Lee's style in the early 2000s, she says.
Well, nothing wrong with that. Tommy Lee was
About
looking
Lindsay?
great.
Oh, she's talking about Lindsay.
Yeah,
Okay.
his hair and shit,
I can see that.
and his tats.
Lindsay's so cool. I missed you guys. Hope you're doing better.
Oh,
Josh
this is
Merlis says.
Josh. Okay,
Thank you, Josh.
thank you, Josh. Josh has he's communicated with me, but he keeps texting me on Telegram, and I barely use that app. I was honestly only using it to order mushrooms from this mushroom dealer. And I've been completely sober since I got back from detox. So sorry if I haven't responded, but thank you, Josh. It's thank you for
But that means you are doing better because you're not responding. You're not on that app, the mushroom app.
there you go. It's proof.
He says, one, right off the bat, we get a very funny corporate video from Wolfram and Hart and a great bit with Harmony brushing both sets of teeth. That was very funny. Unfortunately, this episode was a lot like the movie Up. Great intro, and the rest was a letdown. Holy shit.
Oh no.
Fair enough. Spike's talking about how lame it would be if he came back all normal after his grand finale. We didn't talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about Buffy. She's also quote unquote in the episode. Spike is fucking Buffy, but it's
Well,
like
that
a
was
fake.
Soul Purpose.
Right, and it's one of his dreams, Angel's
Yeah.
like nightmares.
Yeah, you hear her. They use a couple of
What
quotes
was that? That was
from the
weird.
prom episode. It's sort of odd.
Yeah, I don't know what she's talking about. But I like that from Spike. Like he was on his way. That's in the scene with Harmony at the end. He says he was on his way to Europe,
He even got a boat ticket.
but he decided to come back because his grand finale wouldn't mean as much if he showed up right now.
Yeah,
Interesting. So that could be the end of Angel. He goes off. Spike goes off to see Buffy.
possibly.
What would Angel's end be? I don't know. Uh, but after his that's what I'm saying. Josh says, and then he says episode 2. Did Lindsay just call him Doyle?
Yeah,
Just say to call him Doyle. This one had it all. What's not to love?
there you go.
Fair, but it didn't have Cordelia.
Mhm.
That's the only
And it
thing.
was a bunch of dream sequences. They could have put her in there.
That's a good call. Why not? Why
Mhm.
not get her in there for a day? Find a babysitter, Cordelia. Is she dealing with a newborn right now? What's going on?
I yes,
Is she married? What's that situation?
I don't remember. All I know is the character is still in a coma.
Right. I want
Yeah.
to know about charisma. What's going on there? Uh, that's Angel, I think.
That is Angel. Do you want to? Well, I'm gonna look up first Charisma Carpenter and her relationship history, so we know whether she was single at
Right.
this
Do you know
time.
any of her boyfriends or
She
girlfriends?
was married to a fella named Damian Hardy, a non-famous fella from 2002 to 2008. So she is married during this time. She only has the one kid. So
Wow.
this was her having her one kid.
Seems to me like if you have a husband and one child, you can be on a TV show. I think they should get
Yeah.
her back on the show.
Whedon had a weird falling out with her. Yeah, they gave birth to Donovan Charles Hardy, my middle name, same middle
Wow.
name as Chris Carpenter, in March 2003. So the kid's almost one at this point.
Right. So
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
like 22 years old now.
There you go.
Wow.
Okay. Um, Next week on Angel,
What do we got?
on Buffy's Angels, we're
And then we're halfway
covering.
through after next week, right?
Yeah,
11 and
yeah.
12.
Mm-hmm. Next week, episode 11
Oh, shit.
is. You gonna be okay over there?
I hope so. Hope that wasn't so
Okay.
loud.
Episode 11 is called Damage,
Yeah.
and features a Buffy cast member showing up.
No
Yeah.
way.
Um.
Going Hannigan. She
All
has the
right.
most ties to this show with her husband being over here.
Fair. All right. And then episode 12 next week, which is the 100th episode of Angel.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Syndication. Isn't that what that means?
It sure does.
That's very exciting.
That is called You're Welcome.
Wow. You're welcome for 100 episodes, guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably what they're going for.
Yeah.
That's what Allison Hannigan's going to say on her way offset. You're welcome. They're like, hey, that'd
Okay.
be a good episode title name. So they go with that. You're welcome.
Great.
There we go, guys.